Altcoin season is constantly on everybody's mind, and for good reason. Altcoin season is where you can make life-changing gains, but up until this point, nobody's made much money with altcoins. There's only a few things between us and a full-blown altcoin season. There are specific metrics and specific indicators that I've used in the past to call out altcoin seasons before, and I'm going to share those with you today. And these will be the main signals that I use to call out altcoin season and to call out the top of the crypto market cycle. So let's get into it. First, I want to start off with the FOMC meeting. Now, obviously, we all know that the FOMC meeting is when the head chair, Jerome Powell, comes out and speaks to us about what's happening with interest rates. Now, that's about 25 days away, so we're going to have to wait a little bit longer on that. But if we look at the Fed funds rate, this is the interest rate, obviously, and we click over to the last 10 years, we can see a correlation with the price of Bitcoin. And we also hit a cycle top at the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. You can see that we had interest rates that are pretty low point, right? If we look to today, we're only at a 4.5%. So in order for me to feel comfortable about having a full-blown altcoin season, I want to see interest rates fall to the 1% level or 1.5% level. They don't necessarily have to go down to 0.25, relatively zero, because we all know what happened around that time frame. But looking back at 2017, we definitely had a low interest rate at 1 to roughly around 1.5, and that allowed for us to have an altcoin season. Now, this is the rainbow regression chart, okay, and it's going to detail out where the top of Bitcoin may be, which will also more than likely be where the top of altcoins are relative to a month or two in either direction, right? Before or after the Bitcoin top. Now, if we detail out to when we think we'll get a Bitcoin top, that is around spring of 2026. And you can see here that we've actually touched the top of the orange bands almost every time in prior market cycles. More recently in 2017, which is kind of the closest cycle to this current cycle as far as the price and the way the market is trending, and just the time frame in general. So you can see here that I'm looking anywhere in between the orange to red bands, and that would be anywhere from roughly, let's see here, anywhere roughly between the 250K level to around the 450K level would be where Bitcoin would most likely sell at. I think once we pass around 250K, I'll obviously look at all the other metrics we're going to be talking about in this video that allow me to price out the top of the current crypto market cycle. So anything above 250K in Bitcoin's price level will probably be when I start to sell a lot of my altcoin bags, and probably will be when altcoin season will start to take a slight decline, roughly around maybe a month to 2 months after that. But that isn't the only thing that we need to be wary of, because I also use something like the MVRV Z-score chart. Now, this one is extremely simple, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on it, but you can see here in the red area, this has usually been a lot of market tops. Now, the green part is the actual Bitcoin price, and the yellowish orange part, I'm color deficient, so I can't really tell what color it is, honestly. That's a fact about me if you didn't know. Anytime we've gone even close to the 7-point mark, right, on the score, the 7 mark has been a top for Bitcoin. You can see here on the first top in 2021, we actually just missed out on the red band. And if you go back to 2017, we actually exceeded the red band way over 9, almost hit 10. And the other times as well, we got close to 9 and above 9 as well. So as you can see here, if we get anywhere between the 6 to 7 range, I'm definitely going to look at this metric and a few other indicators and see where we are in the crypto market cycle and decide whether an altcoin season is pretty much finished, and also if it's begun or where we are in the crypto cycle, because I want to know where the top is before it comes, because I want to get all my bags out. I don't want to be a bag holder. I don't want to round trip. I don't like losing money. So I have to use these metrics to make sure I stay up to date on the market. But subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below about any other metrics that you found personally useful to you. So coming to one of my favorite metrics, and the one after this is actually the most important metric, and it actually holds reign over every other indicator in this video. I want to talk about the ISM quickly. Now, the ISM pertains to the business cycle, and I'm going to go over this pretty and relatively quickly because it's very simple, and these are all simple indicators to follow. This is relatively simple, and most of these indicators are relatively simple to follow. Okay, now when we detail back out again to 2017, we spiked up above the 57-point mark, and that's when we also got a top in the Bitcoin price as well, right? Now you can fact check me and go back and look at Bitcoin's price in the late 2017, early 2018, and you'll see for yourself that we spiked up in the high 50 range, just right above 60, and that's when we had our top in altcoins, and that's when altcoin season was pretty much over and when the Bitcoin top had come in, right? We're currently sitting at the 49 point mark last June, 49 points. And the neutral point mark is around the 50. So I don't even buy any assets until I see it reach below the 50 when it comes to crypto. And I also don't sell any of my assets or look for an altcoin season to come until we get at least, I'm talking about at least above the 55 point mark. So you also shouldn't be worried about when we might see an altcoin season. Is an altcoin season coming? All these metrics are flashing at their pretty much their lows right now. So there's no reason to think that an altcoin season isn't coming. An altcoin season is most definitely coming. And all of these metrics are going to point you in the right direction for when that time comes, so you'll understand when to sell. And obviously, if you just follow me and subscribe to my channel, you'll also be able to get these update videos as well, right? And leave a like on this video as well if you've got any value to this point, any value at all. We're actually going to get into one of my favorite indicators, and it has to do with the money that you hold in your pocket. So what the heck am I talking about? I'm talking about the DXY. This is the dollar index, okay? This is the US dollar. And the reason why we use this metric to try to price out where altcoin season may be and the certain things standing in between us getting to an altcoin season is the fact that we want to see what the dollar is, what the strength of the dollar is. Because when the government decides to lower interest rates and print more money, you're going to see a weakening in the value of the dollar. And typically, you're going to see it around the 90 point level. Mind you, we're still at 96, right? We're still at 96. We have a ways to go before I even get a little bit worried about what's happening with altcoins or Bitcoin, because we haven't even gotten close to the 90 point level. We actually haven't even broken through support yet, right? Once we break this level of support and test it as resistance is when I will start to feel a little more anxious, and I'll start to check all of the metrics that I've shown you in this video to see where we're at in the cycle. And we're currently only at the 96 point level, pretty much 97. So we have a ways to go. And mind you, the 100 point mark is the neutral point. So we have broken past that. So I would look to see a spike in altcoins coming with the next, I'd say maybe 3 to 6 months or so. And more than likely a top by spring 2026. If you found any of the information in this video useful, please leave a comment or a like down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.